I just want to get this class over.
Yeah.
I still have time. It's 11:30. 11. My paper's due at 11:59. I have 500 words left. No, I don't have time. I'm gonna start over. I still have time. It's 11:30. I'm 500 words into my 2,000 paper. Procrastination at its finest. Palms sweating, heart racing. Why did I do this to myself? Procrastination is defined as to rely on, to delay doing something at a later time because we don't feel like doing it at the moment, as defined by Merriam-Webster. Speaking from experience, procrastination is a horrible habit. It ruins any project I've ever done, and no one should procrastinate. Stop procrastinating, not tomorrow, but today. Why should you stop procrastinating? Because pressure doesn't always make diamonds. Sometimes it bursts pipes. Just because we feel like, oh, I work better under pressure, I'll get this will be an amazing paper, not true. You actually diminish the quality of your work by procrastinating. Just because we feel like, oh, well, I know I can write a good paper and it only takes me 30 minutes, we should allot more than 30 minutes to do this paper. I'll do it tomorrow. I still have time. Not a good excuse. Procrastination also diminishes your image. No one wants to rely on someone who they feel is unreliable, unorganized, waits to the last minute to do everything. It just makes you look really unprofessional. Procrastination is a huge stressor. When you procrastinate, you take away from the amount of time of sleep you get because you're staying up until 3 a.m. to do a paper that could have been done 2 a.m. 3 days ago. It reduces the amount of sleep you can get. It's just a horrible habit to have. How can I stop procrastinating? Simple. We just start planning ahead. Take a large project and break it into smaller parts. And for each part, allot 5 minutes per day here, 6 minutes here. And eventually your project will be done within a timely manner and you still have time to go back and check yourself. It could be as simple as buying a planner, plan out your day, make a to-do list, do all the things you need to do, and give yourself enough time to do it. Waiting last minute is never a good idea. Try to stay ahead of the game. When you find out you have a paper due, start writing it the same day. Don't wait until 11:30 at night to decide to write this paper. Trust me, from experience, not a good idea. In closing, procrastination is a horrible habit to have, and you just shouldn't do it. If you procrastinate like myself, stop. It's not a good idea. It doesn't make anything better. It actually makes everything worse. But people who procrastinate typically have the worst grades and the most stress. Didn't feel confident about that, but no, I'm done with the class now.
Well, I mean, there might be one speech, but that'll be on our own, so.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Oh, dang.
Yeah, where it's like pretty close. And then I'm sure, do we have a final?
I don't know. I don't even know. What day does this class end? Like, when's the last assignment?
And like, I think 2 more weeks, right?
Shit.
Or 1 more week?
9th is like the last, but like obviously it'll end before that.
Cool.
But you did really good. Like, I think it was persuasive.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it was really short. Like, it seemed like a whole minute. I didn't like look at the time when I started, but I don't feel like it was that long.
Don't even worry about it. I don't think he really takes off our time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he does either.
I don't know. He seems like a really easy grader. Like, the things I'm like, oh no, I know I didn't do good on that. I actually didn't do that bad.
Yeah.
It's only for the outlines he's like very like picky, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, because he was really hard on my outline, but then he still gave me an 85, so I was like, was it really that bad? Because he was like, oh, you followed the regular outline formula. And I was like, oh. And
Oh,
then he was just like, oh, 85. I was like, it was one of the times I procrastinated. Did it at
I
11:55.
procrastinate I didn't even write my discussion question.
Oh, I
I
didn't do
literally do my
that.
discussion late every time.
You guys do it late too.
I think this week I actually did it.
Oh,
I
I
always do it on the day it's due. Jenna, you always do yours early. Yours is always.
Yeah, you're always the first one.
the first person. I was like, wow, she does it every time.
On the weekend.
Jenna, I always like your discussions because they're always so like informative and there's always just so much. I'm like, dang.
I base mine off of yours like every time. I'm like, I'm just gonna base mine off hers.
Yeah.
So, who's next?
I can go.
I'll go after you, Jenna.
And then I'll go.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm hungry.
This bigger. Okay. Okay.
Good? Okay. Have you ever felt stressed trying to juggle your family, your work, and school all at the same time? There are actually 6,700,000 students enrolled in online classes, especially with technology improving and becoming a huge part of our lives. Through research and personal experience, I have learned that online classes can be a huge alternative to classroom learning. So how is online classes are the same as classroom learning? As college students, we tend to have a lot of trouble managing time, a lot. So taking online classes allows flexibility, no set time. You have study time, test taking. I have a lot of problems with test taking, so that's why I take online classes. You also, there's no need to stay up at 4 a.m. writing a paper. You can do it on your weekends or whenever you're free. It also allows personal convenience. You can learn at your own pace, which is awesome. It also is helpful for single parents that have a full-time job and can't always skip work and go to class. And it also provides discipline. It can gain a strong ability to figure things out on your own, and it allows weakness. You can learn your flaws and weaknesses. And last but not least, it eliminates transportation problems, traffic jams, accidents, not enough parking spaces, especially in the Palm Beach campus like me, and you can save gas, which everyone needs. And I found Anita Hogue from the University of Louisville found that the most success with a little bit of both, meaning classroom and online. She said that being an online college student does require more discipline, but if you have the right technology, it can be a rewarding experience. As you can see, the online class is very beneficial and it decreases a lot of stress. This is why it's so popular now. So each student learns differently today. Taking online classes can be a great alternative. There's no huge solution to this. It can provide benefits though, like certifications, your diplomas, associates and bachelor's degree faster than learning in the classroom. And Massachusetts Institute of Technology also suggests that online classes are not only effective, they are as effective as what's being traditionally taught in the classroom. So I have a story. My brother, who attends Florida Gulf Coast University in Fort Myers, is working full-time this summer. He visited my family this weekend and told my family that he's afraid of getting behind because he is full-time and he cannot take summer classes. I told him that he could totally take online classes. He could take 2 express classes and complete most of his work on the weekends. He did not like that because he has a girlfriend and he also has a life, but school comes first, of course. So a couple days later, he texted me and he told me he was like, I thought about it. I'm actually gonna roll about it, and thanked me. So as stated before, online classes may also allow you for certifications faster than expected. Without online classes, you may be forced to take a class at a certain time or a teacher that you may not want. You could sit at home in your pajamas and do your homework instead of rushing to school 2 or 3 times a day. That's awesome. So think about this. Next semester, when you're signing up for your spring classes, just remember maybe you should take some online classes, eliminating a lot of stress. Let's face it, we are taking the same class online, and weren't you happy to see you could take speech online instead of taking it on the classroom? I was. So I'm going to leave you with this interesting quote from Bernard Bull. He said, in order to create an engaging learning experience, the role of the instructor is optional, but the role of the learner is essential. That's it. Whew.
I like the way you ended it with the quote.
Yeah, you did.
No one's really expecting you to say anything else. They're like, oh, okay.
And it was pretty long too, so that's good.
Yeah.
Whew. And it seemed like you remembered it, so that's good too, because I don't know mine.
Yeah, I'm literally gonna be like this the entire time, just looking on my paper.
He told me that. He's like, you don't look at like your computer or like the people you're talking to. You look like away, and I'm well, dumb fucking reading it.
Wait, what did you say to him?
Wait, he said that to you?
Yeah, he said that I wasn't looking like at my computer, at my people. I was looking off, and I was like, well, yeah.
I mean, I don't look at you guys. I kind of just look at the webcam up here.
Yeah.
I'm so dramatic. I would have probably been like, no, it's not bad. I'm just a lazy guy, you know.
He like, I never edited it.
Because he's never seen me in person, so I definitely would say that. Okay. I
never
would make him do that.
the last speech we gave, so he was like, I don't know if you had technical difficulties or something, and then he goes, it kind of sounded like you were reading, and I was like, I wasn't reading though, but yeah, I did have technical difficulties. I didn't reply back though, I was like, whatever.
Do you get 100, Jenna, on the speeches?
I think I got like a 95. I don't know.
Oh, okay, then that's not bad.
Yeah. He's like, try next day.
Was it because you didn't have a visual aid or something?
Yeah. Oh well.
All right, guys, I'm ready for this. Well, not really, but oh well.
You're gonna be
You got it.
And I just really want to get it over. So I think that I haven't heard many people say, well, many kids, or let me start this over. So as a kid, I never really heard anyone say, oh, I can't wait to take the FCATs and finally do it, or, oh, I can't wait to take the FSATs. High stakes testing, which are state tests, are really stressful for students. And I can say that for myself because I always felt very pressured taking these tests when I was younger. We don't realize sometimes how important it is, like, for them, and like how like it impacts their future so much. Their performance on these tests literally determines their immediate future, because if you fail the test, then you might have to repeat the grade. So it's really, really pressure, and at the end of the day, they're still kids, and you know, they want to have fun and learn, but like cater to them, not taking these ridiculous tests, or they might have to repeat the school year again, and they could be denied their diploma or attend summer school, and no one likes any of those things, especially repeating a grade again. And then there's an alarming statistic that since the No Child Left Behind Act was implemented, the United States was ranked 18th in the world in math. And in 2009, after 8 years of having the No Child Left Behind Act, the U.S. ranked 31st in math in the world. So it's dropped a significant amount of levels since then. So that makes the United States a less competitive country in the eyes of the world. And it's really, really wrong because at the end of the day, a test should just be a test. Having a child's future depend on a test puts too much pressure on on students who are so young, and it shouldn't make or break a student's future. A child may not be so skilled in what is tested, like math and reading, which is usually the common subjects that are tested. I know I could speak for myself that I'm awful at math, and that was one thing that I really struggled with on these tests. I passed, but math was definitely not one of my strengths. I could say that history and science were my strengths, but they're never tested. At least not where I lived in New York. We weren't tested on those. But like a student could be really good at arts, they could be really good at music, and none of that stuff is tested. And they could be really creative but be really awful at math, or just really be bad at test taking and get super nervous. So having a big test is inevitable in life, but there are very few tests that adults will face that affects their future as much as like for these children. And the thought of failing these tests can create worry and fear within the children, and it can affect how they learn, and in the later years it can also affect how they learn. And what should be done about it? Parents and teachers can evaluate the advantages and disadvantages of these tests to make important votes at the school board. And then also as for teachers, it puts a lot of pressure on them, because if a lot of their students don't end up doing good, it could be blamed on them, and they're not able to teach what they want to teach, not in the same teaching style. They have to follow this rigid curriculum for the students, and it kind of takes away from their creativity. So at the end of the day, it affects everyone, and it shouldn't really be done to determine a child's future. There should be other ways of testing how a student is doing.
That was really long.
No, it really wasn't.
I was like, no, you definitely moved the time.
Anything specific.
Yeah, I think that was really long, which is really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it had to be. If it wasn't 3 minutes, it was definitely really close.
Yeah, I was definitely within the time.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go now.
A lot, but
Because my dog barks and my mom didn't know that it was muted, so she like freaked out.
Oh, is that what you were kind of like laughing at?
Yeah.
I saw that, and I'm like, well, I kind of like made a realization too that I forgot to click on you, Jalissa, when we started. So it was Jenna, but I'm hoping that doesn't affect it.
no, I don't think so, because I think I just control it, and
Oh, okay, cool. So I
Okay.
felt back here to redo it.
I would love to, but nah.
I'll just start, I guess.
Each year,
Oh, sorry. All right. Okay. Each year, around 3 million people die from prevented disease, and about half, or 1.5 million of these, are children under the age of 5. And reportedly, vaccines save 2.5 million children annually, and 85% of international children receive vaccines. So not everyone around the world receives vaccines, and this is part of the reason why so many kids are dying of all these preventable diseases. So an example of this even further is how in 1974, there was an 80% vaccination rate against pertussis in Japan, which is also whooping cough, and there were only 393 total cases that year and no deaths. However, subsequently in 1979, the vaccination rate dropped to below 10%, and there were 13,000 cases and 41 died. So that's just further proof of why children need to be vaccinated to prevent these diseases that are so damaging to the population, and they're just unnecessary, because if you just vaccinated your child, you could save their life and the lives of many other children. So it's necessary because we want to prevent children from getting sick and infecting other children, because when they get sick, they can make all those around them sick, and some people have weaker immune systems due to autoimmune disorders such as HIV and lupus. And vaccinating children is crucial because if all children were vaccinated, then we would have no more preventable illness such as measles, mumps, and those diseases are really painful and damaging, and it's horrible for a child to have to go through that. I know because I was vaccinated, I never had chicken pox, and I'm very glad because it also prevents me from having shingles. And if all children in America at least were vaccinated against chicken pox, it could prevent a shingles epidemic. I also have a chart here on the measles cases because recently the measles rate has gone up because people have decided not to vaccinate their children because they don't agree with it or because they believe it causes autism. But because of that, the measles has grown, and especially in Texas and New York, and it's infecting other children. And it's not only bad for them, it's bad for the kids who can't get vaccinated. As I said earlier, children with autoimmune disorders, they cannot get vaccines because it is too damaging to their immune system. So if a child was not vaccinated and they become infected, they can easily infect and potentially kill the other children who have those weaknesses of their immune systems. The only solution to this is to tell other people who do have children, or if you do have children, you need to vaccinate them, because that's the only way that we can help solve this problem. And by vaccinating most of the children, if not all the children in America, we can work to spread around the world and vaccinate children around the world from these diseases. An argument against this is that most of the bad diseases have already been destroyed. However, the only disease that's been completely eradicated is smallpox. Other diseases such as polio, which was removed from America in the 70s, 1979, I believe, due to the Salk vaccine. However, polio is prevalent all around the world, and they're still trying to vaccinate all the children. And if we don't vaccinate children, people will continue to die, and the likelihood of a disease wiping out humankind is much more prevalent, because children can get sick and they can infect us just as easily as they can infect other children. So, like I said earlier, the only way to keep children safe and healthy is to spread the word. They need to be vaccinated. They need to get aware of these diseases and these problems that can happen if they aren't vaccinated. And we need to help vaccinate children around the world, because once we take care of ourselves, we can work outward. Because once we're all healthy, we can't get infected by other illnesses from around the world, and we can help start preventing them from infecting those around them.
That was really good.
You did a good job. I really wish I could have done that one. It would have probably been pretty much the same as yours, though.
Yeah, I don't
remember all the stats, or did you read them? This was a lot of numbers. That would have completely threw me off.
All right.
All right. Give me a second.
Okay.
I was about to mute myself. This is so bad. Oh, the last one. All right, you guys ready?
Okay.
All right. Okay. So when I was about 8 years old, my family and I decided to go to the water park. I was so excited that morning I forgot to drink or eat anything. About halfway during the day, my vision started getting blurry and I couldn't really hear anything around me. The next thing I know, I wake up laying on a chair because I blacked out because I was dehydrated. My body needed more water to function properly and stay hydrated, but because I didn't drink any water at all, I blacked out. Had I drunk more water that day, I probably would have been fine and not have caused a scene. There are plenty of benefits to drinking more water. Drinking water can help speed up your metabolism, and it has no calories compared to sodas and waters. Drinking more water helps improve your mood, and it can help prevent headaches. Because when you become dehydrated, your brain tissue loses water, which causes your brain to shrink and pull away from the skull, which triggers pain receptors surrounding the brain, which causes you a headache. More than 60% of the human body is made up of water. And I even have this little picture diagram right here to show you I found. Okay. Also, another sign that you're dehydrated is that your lips become more chapped. And most people don't realize that dehydration can also cause chapped lips. So that's one sign. And also, you're more thirstier than usual. And by the time you realize that you're thirsty, you're sorry. And by the time you realize you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated. There are plenty of ways to help make sure you stay hydrated by keeping a water bottle around you at all times. For example, I keep one on my desk, and also you can keep one in your car or in all other rooms or even in a bag or purse. All in all, drinking more water can help you lose weight, stay hydrated, and prevent headaches. It is recommended that we drink at least 8 glasses of water a day to stay hydrated and healthy. I'm done, guys. That was so bad, but I'm done.
No, it was fine.
It was good.
I don't think it was as bad as you think it was.
It was so short.
But you had a lot of facts in it. So.
Water.
Yeah, and then you had that visual aid, so that's definitely gonna help you. And you didn't look at your paper at all,
Oh,
so
trust me, I looked to the side a couple of times.
I literally looked to the side the entire time.
I mean, we kind of have to though.
What?
Look to the just to catch get what we have to say, like specific statistics or stuff you need to know.
Yeah, like, I don't know if he cares if you have the outline with you to check, because, I mean, I'm sure he doesn't expect us to remember everything, because it's supposed to be kind of like extemporaneous.
Yeah, because if we were to take this class on campus, we would be able to have our outline. So I feel like it's not an issue. Like, but if you were like reading it, I feel like he'll say something.
Yeah.
But we're
Like, glancing at it should be
done!
fine.
We're done, and I'm
Yay.
so proud.
Yeah.
But I'm curious if we're going to have a final, because, we had that midterm, and I wasn't expecting that at all.
I really took like more than the midterm.
I got an 83. Not good for me.
Wait, was he on the midterm?
83.
I got an 80.
You got a what?
A 7. Oh, sorry.
Well, yeah. Anything like below an 85 does not cut it for me. Except in math, I'm happy to get an 85.
Guys, we did it.
I just really need to see.
Well, we just have one more and we're done.
Already, I have to go because I need this. My hair's not done, and I'm going out tonight. Bye.
Guys, I just want to say I'm really glad that we're all in our group. Because I can't imagine us having anybody else in our group.
I'm going to take a here.
I can't hear anything. It sounds like we're breaking up.
Yeah, everything's like super choppy right now.
Alright, well, guys, it's like the best group ever. I hope we all have it. And, bye.
Good luck, everyone.